Palantir has had a little bit of a run up today, up over 5%, almost 6% as of right now. Market has not yet closed at the time I'm recording, so it could end up a little bit more or a little bit less than what I'm showing here as of the time I'm recording this video. Palantir has a market cap today of just over $31 billion. And the reason for this rally is probably due to them securing a $250 million contract with the U.S. Army to provide artificial intelligence services. That's right, AI. Now, I have in the past spoken about thinking AI is, in some cases, a bubble. It's hype, all right? How do I know that? Well, for a period of time, it seemed as though any company that mentioned AI in their earnings saw a big jump in their share price, okay? But just the mention of it without delivering doesn't mean anything. However, Palantir has turned AI into actual dollars that will go on their income statement. That's a good thing. Now, as the CEO says, AI is not a hype cycle for companies actually delivering. Fair point there, okay? If you do AI and translate it into money, well, then you're walking the walk, not just talking the talk. So I respect that. Which is funny because, he said that on, it looks like September 22nd, or at least that's when the article was that had that quote. So today it dropped that they are actually delivering. Now, I think it's important to discuss the relative scale of things, right? Because let's say this was Microsoft. A $250 million contract, if it was Microsoft, that doesn't even really rate, okay? Microsoft produces so much revenue per quarter, per year, etc. $250 million is not newsworthy. But for a company Palantir size, okay, for publicly traded tech companies, they are still very much early stages, okay? 2022 total revenue was only 1.9 billion, okay? That's not even that's a mosquito compared to a company like Microsoft, all right? Only been public for a few years. They have a long ways to go. Now, $250 million is a big contract for a company that does 1.9 billion a year, okay? Now, what I'm excited about is the fact that Palantir has been GAAP profitable. They've had positive EPS numbers for a few quarters, positive free cash flow for a bit longer, but it's been pennies. It's been 1 cent, 2 cents in the case of free cash flow, 2, 3, 4 cents, maybe a nickel here and there. But with these gross margins of near 80%, if Palantir can pull in some contracts of this size, more and more of it translates into the bottom line because of the fact their gross margins are so high, okay? Their SG&A, right, their overhead shouldn't be growing at the same rate as their revenue. So as they continue to scale and grow and bring in more revenue, with these high gross margins, they should be able to drive up that profitability, that free cash flow, and really give shareholders and potential shareholders, people who are looking, a little bit more of something to hang their hat on here. So that's exciting to me. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens on the next 2 or 3 earnings releases, and I'm really I'm I'm chomping at the bit for them to get a few more of these beefy contracts under their belt. It'll make a really big difference to the bottom line, hopefully. And I'm just personally, I'm feeling a little bit of the hype, not going to lie. Now, I actually have to be a little careful because I do have one sold out of the money covered call on my 100 shares of Palantir. I don't think this is going to drive it up quite enough to because it's a $17 strike. I don't think my shares are going to get called away from me, but I do want to keep an eye on it. Might have to roll it a little bit further out of the money at some point, but it expires pretty soon. I think I've only got 2 or 3 weeks left on it, so fingers crossed on that. If you have any shares of Palantir, I want you to drop into the comments. Let me know what price you paid for your shares of Palantir. Did you get in around the same time I did, back when it was, say, cheap, like in this $6 to $7 range back here? Or have you been in longer? Or are you just a recent adopter? What do you think it's worth today? What's your cost, but what do you think the actual intrinsic value is? For me, personally, at the time that I was first looking at Palantir, it made sense to me. Pretty much anything like 7-ish or below, I was thinking I could see the potential. I could make a case for how it would generate me a pretty good return over the course of years. Granted, I had no idea that the price was going to go up over 100%, like pretty much like a few months right after I got in. That's just random luck. That doesn't make me a genius or anything. Okay. I'm not a chart reader. I'm not a technicals guy. I don't really look at I don't look so much at like moving averages and oversold and overbought and all that. I just try to look at the financials, try to figure out what a good valuation is, where I can make sense of the future earnings and cash flow the company will provide back to me as a shareholder, what kind of value they can generate. Because everything else is honestly like subject to any kind of news that comes out, or anything the trend can change, right? And I'm not really about that life. So let me know again your cost for Palantir, your price target, or if you're just simply avoiding the company altogether. Let me know if you think that they're going to be one of the companies that really delivers in a big way on AI. And also, check out the Discord, link in the description. Hit our live show on Saturdays, link in the description, Cashflow Kings Live, co-hosted with, of course, our friend, The Ryan Dengler Show at YouTube. Check you later. Take it easy, everybody.